Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me for Convertible Conversations. Going to take a few days and now look at who are we listening to. And I want to start out by asking you, who's your favorite musician? Some of us have one, some of us don't, but I kind of have been a musician for a long time, and so one of my favorites is Victor Wooten, Wooten. He's a bass player who has his own group. He plays with other groups like Bela Fleck and the Flecktones and others. And if you ever watch him, he's just kind of in a league of his own. Google Victor Wooten, Wooten, and Amazing Grace. And he's not a Christian musician. He's a very spiritual guy. But when you listen to that, you get the idea of what I'm talking about. And he says one time in an interview after he's playing Amazing Grace and somebody talks to him about it, he says, you can listen to me play and hear something different than I do, and we're both right. Well, isn't that true in life? Two people can hear a piece of music, look at a work of art, or see a real life situation, and each see it differently. And many times, both can be right. Sometimes, though, not. Victor has a brother, Roy Wooten, who is known as Future Man. He's a drummer or a percussionist, but he doesn't play a regular drum set. He has a really futuristic thing that sort of looks almost like a guitar, but it's not, and it's a whole bunch of electrical different things put together that he plays with his fingers. And it sounds like a drum set with a whole lot of other things, and it's way out there. It's like something from the future. He's called Future Man, and he is amazing. I started listening to bands very early on, back in the 50s, on car radios. And we only had AM on our car radio then. And I remember when driving home late at night down in the Ozarks where I lived on 2-lane roads in the hills, and stations would cut in and out. You'd be able to listen to one station, but then there'd be static, and even though you wouldn't turn the dial, you'd hear a different station. Remember Wolfman Jack? I mean, who could forget that voice? He was unmistakable. He broadcast, we found out now, it was a mystery then, but he broadcast on a station out of Del Rio, Mexico. It was the most powerful station in the world then, and it went all over the United States and Canada. And you could hear Wolfman Jack playing Elvis Presley, and then without changing your dial, another station would cut in and there'd be a hellfire and brimstone preacher yelling at you to avoid rock and roll music because it was the devil's music. Wolfman Jack wrote a book called Have Mercy. And he said he loved to bring people joy, and that's what he felt like he was doing on his show. But at the same time, other people were extolling the bad parts of rock and roll and saying it's of the devil. Some people see good things and opportunities. Other people see the same thing, but they see bad things and catastrophes. Well, hearing the right voice affects everything in our life, for good or bad. Using the radio station illustration, humanly, we hear only on AM. We only hear the voice of the world, which I call accuser man. Not future man, like the drummer who beats the drums, but accuser man who beats people up verbally. We should never like or appreciate or believe what accuser man says. Some people, I've found, don't yet hear from God because they are tuned into AM all the time, and all they hear is accuser man, and they get beat up all the time. Accuser man accuses us and tempts us to worry, which is primarily what we're going to be talking about the next few days, worry. Now, here's what I'm getting at. Some of us worry a little bit about things. Some of us worry all the time, some in between. Those of us who worry all the time think, well, that's just how I am. I'm a worrier. I'm a person that just worries a lot. Somebody's got to worry, so it's me. Well, we don't have to. And that's not just the way we are. That's not the real us at all. Worry comes from an evil voice, from the accuser man. He tempts us to worry. But we don't have to listen to him. We don't have to go there. So we're going to learn more about that this week. Hope you'll join me. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.